Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and welcome to the first episode of the Draft Boys, the draft show that we are now running with two of my closest friends. Up first, we got former podcast co-host Matt Magani. How are we doing?
Great. Ready to win a draft.
Okay, Babiak, how are we doing?
Great. I already replaced Mags in one thing. I can beat him in another.
Oh,
Oh,
beefy. Babiak kicked our ass in the last draft, building the worst franchise draft. He won 63% of the votes. Magani got 26. I only got 11. Babiak's team was Winnipeg, the Prudential Center, Flyers jerseys, Leafs fans, Sabres success. I thought I was going to win that draft personally. Babiak, how are you feeling after that win?
Leafs fans, high risk, high reward, but people correctly called out how fake they are. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
They are annoying as hell. I think I'm pissed because like Jacket's success, that's what I selected first overall. I think people are underrating the Sabres success. They have had success. The last 15, 20 years has been horrible, but like they've made Stanley Cup finals. They've had legendary players, but I think I fumbled with the Florida Panthers jerseys and Flyers fans. I think that was my shortcomings. What about you, Magani? Where do you think you went wrong in the last draft?
I don't really know. I thought Columbus success was a pretty good pick, and I don't know. I think Buffalo success is just a recency bias. So everybody saw that. They're like, oh yeah, Buffalo's horrible. So
Yeah, Prudential said like
Prue is crazy.
Everything should be rated on the same level, like
Exactly.
a fifth. Prudential Center was a horrible pick. The fact that you won that, even with the Prudential Center that was built in like 2008, that's the one thing. Like I agree, Winnipeg, Sabres success, Leafs fans, Flyers jerseys, great pick. The Delta Center has like 30% obstructed seats, but we're gonna move on.
Yeah, we're looking forward.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the draft. Actually, first we got to do the all-time records. I have 3 wins. Babiak has 2 wins now. Magani has 2 wins. So this is a big draft. This is either to tie me or I go up by 2 on everybody. And yeah, we're gonna be doing the worst contracts draft. It's basically just gonna be individually. How bad are these contracts? What is the net negative value? Not like relative to team success. For example, someone like Darnell Nurse. The Oilers are obviously trying to contend versus some bad contract on some bad team. We're just looking individually on top of the fact that the LTIR money, or the LTIR, we're not going to do any LTIR players. The retained money, we're not going to count retained money. So Seth Jones is just 5 years, $7 million. And building off that, we're not counting this year. Only beyond this, what they have left, because like we're at game 70 of this season. And 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie. We do a snake draft. I lost the last draft, so I decided to select second. Magani's going to be selecting first, and Babiak's going to get the 3-4 combo. Let's get into it, boys. Magani, you are up first. Say the player and the contract remaining, and then give your explanation.
So my first overall pick might not be the worst contract in the NHL, but I think based on positional value, it is important to get number 1. I'm going to go Philip Grubauer. He has 2 more seasons left at 5.9, and he's just been really abysmal this year. I have him right now at the time of this recording. He's got an 870 save percentage with a 3.69 goals against. And yeah, there's not a lot of terrible goalie contracts, so I'm going to go ahead and get that off the board first.
Yeah, that's good because I specifically selected second overall because I was going to see if someone took a goalie. Grubauer in like his 1 game back let up 3 goals in the first period. It was a disaster. I'm going to be going with another goalie, Tristan Jarry, 3 years, $5.375 million. He's been playing much better of late in his last 4 or 5 games, but I still think that this is one of the worst contracts in terms of a goalie, and there's just not a ton of like horrible goalie contracts. So when looking at him, he had a 919 in 2022, then a 909, then a 903, and then an 894 this season. And even like analytically in prior years, he wasn't that good for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It was more so of his system. So yeah, Tristan Jarry is like 29, 30 years old, has 3 years left of like solid starter money. So I think that's probably the second worst goalie contract, and I get the goalie off the board. What are you guys thinking? Babiak, you're up next.
Yeah. So, first of all, I'm not interested in any Jari truthers based on 1 week. He was waived earlier this year. Fine pick. So I'll also look positional value, little double D action going here. First up, Brady Shea, who has 6 years left at $7 million, which feels like an easy slam dunk. Nashville definitely regrets signing that one. And then more controversial but equally correct is Chris Letang.
Oh,
Because,
Okay, that's gonna piss
not
people
even on
off,
my
but
list.
That's bold. That's bold.
I don't even know. Like, I guess people get heated because, like, oh, great player, great career. Sure, it was a great career. Right now, he's a below average second pair guy. Right now, the Penguins are better with him off the ice than on it. That's just statistically, factually true. He's got 3 years left, which runs him until he's 41 years old at 6.1 mil. He's very much declining. If Pittsburgh was remotely in a contention window, people would be very frustrated with that declining value contract. He's flying under the radar, though, because he's a Hall of Famer, and whether he wins or loses a game he plays this week does not matter.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick. I think this is why like we need the YouTube to explain things. If people saw that at like face value, they'd be like, "This guy's just a Pittsburgh Penguins hater." It's a bad contract, but only 3 years. I'm looking at more so term for some of these guys. But yeah, I'm up next, right?
Yeah.
I am between 2 contracts. Huberdeau is playing great of late, but I think I'm going to go with Hampus Lindholm with the Boston Bruins. He has 6 years left at $7.75 million. It's just been like a steep fall off. Like the Bruins obviously should have saw this coming. We thought it was a bad contract in the moment. But I was still
Elias Lindholm, right?
Oh, yeah. Did I say Hampus?
Yeah,
Elias Lindholm.
You
not
said
Hampus
Hampus,
Lindholm.
yeah.
Not Hampus Lindholm. We'll edit that out of post. Yeah, he's been on a decline. It's clear that he was just a benefactor of Kachuk and Gaudreau in Calgary. And we thought that like he'd still get like 55, 60 points this year by playing with Pastrnak. He has 12 goals, 24 assists, 36 points in 71 games in year 1 of this contract. At 30 years old, he's not even that good defensively anymore. Like it's bad. Like maybe I'm already debating against someone that's going to pick Huberdeau, but like because I don't think he's going to be there. I think Bags is probably going to pick him. But yeah, Huberdeau at least is like having a good season and doesn't play with much. He couldn't make it. Lindholm couldn't make it work with Pastrnak this season, so he's my worst. But Huberdeau's still a bad contract.
Yeah, based off that, I'm up. I'm gonna take Huberdeau.
Yeah.
He's not having that terrible of a statistical season on face value. He's gonna have a 30-30 season. He's helping Calgary actually be in a playoff race when they weren't supposed to be any good. But he's a UFA in 2031, and and he's at $10.5 million till then. I mean, that's just going to age terribly each year. So right now, he's probably one of the best players that'll be picked, like right now in the current season, but the contract is still terrible. So I'm gonna take
he's probably like a $8 million player this season, but still that's like minus $2.5 million.
Yeah.
Still a bad deal right now. Who's your other pick?
Oh, I'm back to back, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Tyler Seguin. So he's a free agent. He's a UFA after the 26-27 season at $9.85 million. Obviously, he's been hurt this year. I just think his play has declined basically every year. He's not worth even close to $9.85 million. I know it's shorter on term, but I still think that's a pretty terrible contract for the next few seasons.
Yeah, with that hip injury, he might not be the same player. He was playing solid this year, but it was only like 20 games, and now old guys with hip injuries is not usually a good sign. Yeah. I'm up again. If I go to actually wait, oh no, he's still on the board. Darnell Nurse, 5 years, $9.25 million. Again, like some of the guys we're talking about, like a Huberdeau, an effective second pair guy, but he's 30 years old. He's getting paid $9.25. Not as bad as a contract as it was viewed like a year or two ago. But yeah, he's getting legit number 1 money, even with the salary cap going up. It's a bad deal. He's like a 35-point two-way guy that's worth like $6-ish million probably. Babiak, to you.
Yeah, all right. First up, I'll go with another contract that was just signed this past summer there. Chandler Stevenson, after this year, 6x6.25. His XG has been under 40% this year. It is not controversial to say he has genuinely been a bottom 10 NHL player this season among anyone getting real minutes. Among anyone who's actually like playing 80% of the games, playing more than 10 minutes a night, not the Tyler Mott role.
Stevenson, legend, bro.
One of the very worst players in the league. If he was making 2.25, that would be an overpay for the production that they're getting right now.
He's getting points.
All right, man, you don't got to go in on this guy. So
his underlying numbers are horrible. I agree with you. It's a bad contract, but yeah, it's
The
he still has
underlying numbers are AHL level.
Yes,
and he for 6 more
he's
years.
already dead, man. You don't need to kick him.
I agree. What's the next pick?
Next one is one I feel bad about because it's not his fault. It was good when it was signed. Sean Couturier, who has 4 years left, 7.75 mil. Again, that contract made a ton of sense when it was signed. At that point in time, the Flyers were looking like a pretty decent team on the up. Couturier, one of the most underrated players in the league, an elite two-way center, suffered a significant injury. At this point, he's a mid 3C getting paid low end 1C money. It's just unfortunate how it worked out because there's a different version of this where he stays healthy and outperforms that contract even into his 30s. But like it's already a bad deal right now. It's not going to magically get any better. It seems pretty clear that health wise, he's done as a top 6 player.
Yeah, and he's still playing, unlike a Ryan Ellis where you could just toss him on LTIR. He's going to finish out this contract and probably just get worse from here. I think you bounce back with those 2 picks after maybe pissing people off with Chris Letang. I'm up.
Just Philly and Pittsburgh equally.
He just hates Pennsylvania.
That's a good strategy. I'm going to be sticking in Pittsburgh, my second Pittsburgh Penguin here. I'm going to be going with Ryan Graves. He's on a little bit of a heater right now. He has like 3 points in his last 8 games or something like that, but he was scoreless in his first 42. Only is playing like 17 minutes a night, and last year wasn't even that good as well with 14 points in 70 games in like mid-analytics. Yeah, he's 30 years old in May. 4 years, $4.5 million remaining, getting solid second pair money to basically be like their number 6. Pretty straightforward. It's not like a back-breaking contract like some of the other ones, but it's like a Lou Lamoriello kind of contract, given a depth defenseman long-term.
Couldn't get a point for what, like 50 games?
Yeah, he was scoreless in his first 42. Maybe he's turned into an offensive defenseman now that he has 3. But yeah, Magani, you're up.
All right, so I'm back-to-back. I think I'm going to go Damon Severson. He's a free agent in 2031, and he's got $6.25 million left till then. He's a fine player as it is right now, but the money's still too high for what he's producing, and till 2031 it's just going to get worse. So that's my first defensive player, and I think I'm going to knock out the next one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the third Penguins defenseman chosen off the board here. I'm gonna go with Eric.
Not Dubas troopers.
I'm gonna go with Erik Karlsson. He originally signed an 8 by $11.5 million. He's got 2 more years left on that contract after this season. The play has just declined like heavily. It's fallen off a cliff. He's been really bad defensively. He's been pretty bad offensively, which is what Pittsburgh got him for originally. Yeah, he was really good in that 4 Nations tournament. I thought, maybe he'll be good the rest of the year, and then he's just gone back to being terrible. Terrible in his own end, terrible in the ozone. So I'm going to go ahead and take Erik Karlsson.
But Mags, that's a Norris winner. You're legally not allowed to say anything bad about a Norris winner.
Yeah, true.
He scored so many points that one year,
100
Mags.
points.
What do you mean?
A minus 55 or something like that. I'm up. I got to go. I have my defensemen and goalies locked up. I'm going to go with a forward. This might be bold, but I truly believe it, especially after recent events. I'm going to go with Josh Norris, 5 years, $7.95 million. Me and Babiak talked about it like when the trade went down on the podcast. Even the last 2 seasons, ignoring injuries, he's only put up around like 27 goal, 23 assists, 50-point pace at $7.95 million. On top of the injuries, he missed a shit ton of games in 2023. Last year only played 50 and is hurt again in Buffalo, and they're labeling it an undisclosed injury. And I tend to think like if it wasn't something to do with his shoulder, if he rolled his ankle, they would have said, he rolled his ankle. Like he didn't tear his shoulder again. So at this point, and he's young, so it's not like he's like an LTIR candidate. He's rightfully so going to try to come back and make a difference. He is only 25 years old, but yeah, he's just a walking liability, making high end for the duration of the contract, high end second line center money. And yeah, even when he's been healthy the last 2 years, it's been a net negative of like $2 to $3 million. So that's an underrated pick. Happy we're on YouTube so I can explain it, because I feel like if you just throw that out there, people be like, no. He put up 35 goals in 66 games in 2022. But sadly, it's just not been the same player since. So Norris, Sabres. Who's up? Babiak?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the pick that's going to end up losing me the draft. I already know
Oh, great.
because like this guy is the best current player of anyone we've named. But Timo Meyer has 6 years left,
Wow.
8.8
Wow.
mil. He's not a bad player, but like it would be a massive understatement to say he's been disappointing since the trade. I mean, at this point, we have a more than 2 full season sample size of Timo Meyer in New Jersey, and his 82 game pace since that trade is 57 points. You're paying 8.8 mil for a winger with 57 points who has, in theory, 2 elite centers to boost him out. I understand, generally Timo Meyer is not playing with Jack Hughes over there, but 60 points should be like the bare minimum production at that. Even if he was giving you 60 points, 30 goals, you would probably be underwhelmed with that contract, with it being a big trade, with the talent around him, with the Devils having such a great power play, which he barely factors into at this point. But he can't even hit those low bars. Devils are stuck with him for 6 more years. That could end up being like a really, really big problem for a contention window 3 years from now. It's already a problem for them right now that he's not good enough to lift them up with Hughes injured.
Yeah, he's like 28. It's not even like he's 25.
He should be hitting.
Like you're gonna hit the 30s soon. Who else you got?
So I wanted to get really edgy here and talk about Jeremy Swayman for a goalie. But I feel like I've taken too many risky picks. So I'll play it a little bit safe and just say Kevin Lankinen is the most obviously bad goalie contract. It's not the worst overpay by dollar number. It's only 4.5 mil. But on 5 years, it's a terrible contract for a career backup, right? We've talked about this on the pod quite a lot.
You convinced me, yeah.
These goalies, it's not even the money sometimes, but these inconsistent, mediocre goalies who never in their life have put together 3 consistent months in a row, getting 5-year extensions. Just the term on it is absurd, right? Like, I think it's more likely that he's literally bought out or buried in the AHL like a Jack Campbell type than it is that we look back on this 6 years from now and say, oh, that was a good call by Vancouver.
It's one of those deals where it's like, why did they do that? Well, what's the upside to do it right now?
I think it's just like literally like they don't believe in Demko being healthy. And like, as me and Babiak talked on the podcast, there's nothing in unrestricted free agency market, but yeah, it's bad. I don't want to say this out loud, but yeah, I probably should have taken him over Jari. But yeah, that's a solid pick by Babiak right there. I'm up. My last pick has to be a forward. I think I'm going to give away on the Instagram what mine is because I'm going Jaeger Share and Go, which is 5 by 5.75.
Classic.
This is bad right now. Last year had 31 goals, but shot 17.3%. The underlying numbers were mid as hell. They've fallen off significantly. He has 12 and 12 for 24 points in 61 games. Still shooting 11%. So it's not even like he's shooting 6%. And you can just say like, oh, he's going to regress to the mean. Like he's shooting about league average right now. And in terms of the underlying numbers, 1.94 expected goals for per 60 while he's on the ice. The next closest on the Flames is 2.18. And among the 217 forwards with at least 800 5-on-5 minutes, he's 4th lowest in the NHL. He has been brutal this season. And yeah, like he's already 26, or this is going to kick in when he's 27, 28. He's been like arguably the worst forward on the Flames. And similarly to Lankinen, like why did you give him this contract on July 1st? I think it was like when he clearly just had this insane fluky year before the contract year extension. And I believe he was a restricted free agent. So this truly made no sense in the moment. And I was never wrong about Jaeger Sharangovich. I was just early.
Would it really be an Mbon video without hating on Calgary?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So my last pick, I need a forward. I'm going to just take Steven Stamkos. He signed a 4x8 this summer, and he's massively disappointed along with the rest of the team, especially some of the new free agents like Brady Shea was mentioned. But, Stamkos went on a streak of like 15 games without getting a point. He's just been a massive disappointment. Tampa looks like geniuses for moving on from him and grabbing Gensel instead. And yeah, $8 million for another 3 seasons after this. So it's not I don't think Stamkos is going to magically go back to being what he was in Tampa at all. So I'm going to go ahead and take him.
That's a good pick. I think honestly, like I'd swap the Sagan and Stamkos one if I think you got like great value there. Maybe reached a little bit on Stamkos, but got great value with that last pick. So We're going to go over the teams. I'll flash the graphic for you guys watching at home. My team is Lindholm, Sharangovich, Norris, Nurse, Graves, and Jari. Magani's team is Huberto, Sagan, Stamkos, Severson, Carlson, and Grubauer. And Babiak's team is Timo Meier, Stevenson, Couturier, Letang, Shea, and Lankinen. Let us know in the comments. We'll probably post a poll on YouTube as well as on Instagram. YouTube, it's going to count as 2/3 of the vote. Because if you're on YouTube, like you're hearing us fully explain it, versus Instagram, you just see something. Why the hell did Babiak put Letang? What's wrong with this kid? You got to hear us explain it, and you get rewarded by having your voice heard more. Final thoughts, guys. Who do we think won? Like initial reaction.
I feel pretty good about my team, honestly.
I also feel pretty good about Mag's team.
I think, I think Mags went like the safest.
I went
just, like,
safe,
correct.
yeah.
Like objectively bad deals. Like I feel like some people are going to be for me being like Norris and Sharangovich isn't that bad. Babiak's obviously going to get Letang hate.
I picked like 3 different guys who in 2023 calling it a bad contract to be I feel good about them all now, but like if you're out of market from Pittsburgh and from New Jersey, you might think like, well, I remember those guys being pretty good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That's going to lose it for me.
We have 4 Pittsburgh Penguins.
I was going to say the Metro is stacked in our draft. I feel like there's so many
two
Metro.
Flames. Yeah, a lot of West Coast bad deals. But let us know in the comments. What do you think? Vote. Have your voice heard.
Why did none of us take Elias Pettersson?
Elias, that was like I think that one would have been a little bit too risky. He actually got hurt in the Rangers game. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other deals are there out there that you maybe could have that you had on your list. I almost went Killorn 2 years 6.25. That was kind of like a safe. If I just needed to get like for sure negative value.
I had Brendan Gallagher, but he's only got 2 years left. But
he's been playing better of late. My sneaky pick was Morgan Riley, 5 years 7.5. He's on pace for like 43 points this year and sucks defensively. Like
going Leafs though.
Dougie Hamilton's another one that you could maybe say $9 million can't stay healthy. Yeah,
he's been productive when he is though. I was eyeing a forward who no one called out, Tyler Bertuzzi, just on like the worst hockey player on real
3
money.
years 5.25.
5.5. Yeah.
No Mika.
Ryan Polak.
No Mika picks.
Mika has rebounded.
He's played better with Miller, but
yeah. Ryan Polak, 5 years 6.15. I almost went with. Pierre Engvall has been playing better of late. But guys, thank you all for watching. Let us know in the comments if you like this series. What other things? Drop in the comments any ideas for next draft.
Absolutely.
We'll announce it before, and again, based on how the results go, that's how we draft. We'll be seeing the next one. Magani, Babiak, final thoughts?
Vote for me.
Babiak, nothing. You don't have to plead.
You don't want to.
All right, peace.